Hi everybody, welcome back to Rtime. Today we're going to be looking at the Casio Protrek. I just wanted to show you, look at this instruction manual it came with. I guess all these ABC watches would have quite a bit of an instruction manual, huh? I mean, look at this. Granted, it's printed in every single language known to man. I mean, there's probably a tribe somewhere on some continent that has never even seen an airplane before, but this manual probably has their language, right? Okay, now what I wanted to get into, my spotlights are not necessarily reviews. This watch is extensively covered on a lot of other YouTube channels. I just wanted to correct some errors that I've heard people speak about online. First things first, a lot of people wonder, they say, is it truly a titanium case and band? No. The case is a resin. It is a resin case. It's a very solid resin case, though. These lugs are very thick-walled. Look, you can see, if I can, there we go. Very thick-walled lugs with a screw bar that goes completely through that mounts the titanium band in it. And it's a very nice titanium band, solid link, very, very light, very firmly clicking band. It has a lot of, the whole watch overall is extremely, extremely light. It almost has the lightweight of a cheap watch, but it's not cheap. That's just the deceiving quality of titanium. I wanted to bring to your attention, though, in the clasp, these, in the double lock and deployment class, we have two buttons. These are actually plastic, these buttons in here. I don't know why they would have put plastic buttons in here. But you know what? They don't feel cheap, they don't feel wobbly, and they don't feel like they're going to break, so I guess it's okay. Don't mind this Velcro I put on the bottom of the watch. My wrist is just very strange, and I have no choice but to do that to some of these larger face watches. Invicta usually, and some Citizen as well, the larger face watches. I just need to have a little bit of padding back here, and this softer side of Velcro seems to be the way to go for me. The bezel, let's get here. I already said the case is resin, yes, but the bezel is solid titanium, and it's the crystal is it's not plastic. It's actually like like a mineral crystal, and it is recessed underneath, maybe a 1/16 of an inch underneath the bezel, which is really nice. The bezel does rotate firmly. You got to press it pretty firm, but it does spin very smooth, left and right, and I really like that aspect of it. Just gives it a nice little tough feel to it. I really am not going to go into any of the features because it's been done to death. You don't need to see any of that. The buttons are very solid in feel. I can wobble them slightly back and forth if I just press on them, and it doesn't feel cheap, though. It still feels like a solid button. Even though there's tiny, tiny little play, it has a springy, resistive feel to it. And when you press them in, they go straight in. They don't kind of go sideways, or turn when you press them. It's a solid feel when you press these buttons in. Feels very, very good quality. Even these front buttons here, very solid feel to it. And that's one thing I look for is in buttons, is because you're going to be pressing these a lot, and you don't want to get the impression that it's going to wear out or something. That would just truly suck if a button were to stop working or something. These feel very good. They go straight in. You got to press them pretty hard, and like I said, a very spring-like resistance to them when you press them in. Very good quality. The only other thing I wanted to talk to you about in this video is a lot of people were questioning the reliability of the rechargeable solar cell inside, or solar battery, I should say. Well, the first batch of Pathfinders came with low grade or even defective CR1616 rechargeable batteries, and it kind of gave them, or at least all these rechargeable watches, a bad reputation. That has since changed. They no longer use those cheapy or low-grade or even defective batteries. So less and less of these things are being sent to jewelers or back to Casio because the new ones don't seem to have those problems. Typically, a lithium iron phosphate battery is what's used in solar applications due to their extreme resistance to cold and heat extremities, especially if something's going to be sitting out in the sun or in the winter. So lithium iron phosphate batteries are usually the choice. Those batteries are roughly around 500 to 800 charge cycles. Well, let's just say that a cheap lithium ion battery with 300 charge cycles max was in this watch. If you calculate that out, a full charge cycle, discharge cycle would be 5 months. So calculating that out, even a cheap battery, the battery should last 12.5 years. So in theory, a good battery, topped up all the time, you always keep the light on it, keep it charged up, keep it on high, you can see by my thumb, high, low, medium, high. You should be able to get 20 years, in theory, out of the battery. Now, because this technology hasn't been around that long, none of this can be verified. We're going on the, what we know about the batteries and their current known performing characteristics. So you got to bear with me on that one, and I'll bear with you too. And if you have any bad stories, share them with me, because I definitely want to know anything I can about these modern ones for sure. But yes, they're definitely using much better batteries than they were in the old Pathfinders. So these new Protrek models, hopefully, should not have any trouble whatsoever. That's about enough of me rambling on about the Casio Protrek 2500T. I hope you enjoyed my little spotlight. I hope that answered some of your questions about the case, about the clasp, and about your potential fear with these relatively new solar charging battery watches. Later.